Opie's girlfriend meets his wife. Happiness ensues. I'm intrigued. Today, my wife met my girlfriend. I, 32 male, am a widow. My wife passed away from pancreatic cancer 5 years ago. This story is gonna make me emotional. My wife was the absolute light of my life. We were high school sweethearts, went to the same college, and got married after graduation. We were inseparable. I know the feeling. I just had our anniversary with my boyfriend. It was so hard to live through that day. So yeah, this is a very hard week for me to do anything. But I'm still gonna film because I love you guys. Every day I fell more in love with her. It was like my heart was living outside my body. When she passed, the amount of pain I was in was indescribable. I prayed to go to sleep and not wake up just so I could see her one last time. I contemplated meeting her, but every time I was ready, my kids would look at me. They had her face, her personality, her DNA. I couldn't leave them. They were all I had left of her. It took years before I was able to function normally again. I'm still waiting for that day. I even quit my job and lived off of savings and her life insurance for about a year. I was half the dad I used to be and only a fraction of my former self. 2 years after her passing, I decided enough was enough and I kicked myself into gear. I found a job in a different city, closer to my parents, and I packed my kids up and I moved. Life was hard, but I kept chugging along and eventually I found some joy. A year after moving, I took a business trip to New York where I met my current girlfriend, Elle. While I acknowledged there was chemistry, I told her I was already married and she understood. However, a few months later, I had to go back to New York where we met up again. I let my guard down for the first time around her. This sounds like it was meant to be. Before I knew it, she was putting in a transfer for my home branch and moving to my city. I fell in love with her and asked her out a year ago next month. My kids adore her, and though she reminded them she will never take their mom's place, they lovingly call her Mama L. She sounds like a fantastic woman. I'm so happy for you, OP. Today was the anniversary of my wife's passing, an extremely hard day for all of us. This morning, I walked into the living room to find Elle and my kids waiting for me. The kids were dressed up in their church clothes with goofy smiles on their faces and bouquets in hand. Apparently, Elle came up with the idea of a picnic at my wife's grave. An idea that the boys loved as they enjoyed going to see their mom. While I was sleeping, they prepared food and flowers, then insisted on wearing their best clothes. I admit that I cried at the sight of them. I don't know how I got this lucky twice in a row. I wanted my wife to meet this amazing woman, so I asked Elle to come along and she did. The day that I dread every year turned out to be a humbling reminder of the reason why I stayed on this planet. To my lovely wife, you can never be replaced, but she's good to me and she takes care of our kids like you would. Thank you for sending her to me. I have a lot of respect for your girlfriend. She transferred cities to be able to be with you. That's not a casual behavior. And then she's really honoring your wife, not competing with her. That says so much about her personality. I'm rooting for this relationship so much. I hope it's gonna last. And I'm so proud of you because you allowed yourself to love again. That's not an easy thing to do. Update. Hi everyone. First off, I want to thank you all for the nice messages and replies. I can't thank you all enough. On to the update. I already had a profound appreciation for my girlfriend before I made that post, but the comments gave me an entirely new perspective. The night after I made that post, I took my girlfriend out to dinner, and I can't explain it, but the light I was viewing her in was different. Everything she did that night gave me butterflies. She was showing me pictures that she took at the aquarium with my oldest, and I couldn't stop staring at her. In that moment, I came to the conclusion that I was going to propose a lot sooner than I expected. If someone honors your past, loves your present, and protects your kids, yeah, that's a wife. OP, it really looks like you won on the lottery twice in your lifetime. And I love that for you and your kids. A few days later, I went ring shopping with her mom, who was very excited, and we found the perfect ring. I then made a reservation at her favorite restaurant for last Friday and set the big day in motion. Long story short, I'm getting married again. Congratulations. As some of you said, promotions can wait, though after looking at her wedding ideas, I might need a promotion to financially recover, haha. She's a queen, she deserves the best of everything. I'm excited to start this journey with her and my amazing kids. As I've said before, I'm so lucky. Sometimes life gives you another chance at joy. I'm so proud of him that he took it. The story was unexpectedly beautiful, and I made it without crying. Let's read some comments. I want to see how Reddit reacted on this story. Someone call a plumber, cause there's a leak in my house. I needed to take a couple of deep breaths while I was reading. Otherwise, it would have been a leak here as well. I'm not crying, you're crying. The love in this story, this is the type of love I want. She's definitely smiling down on them. This is the type of love that everybody deserves. It's hard to think about it now, but maybe I will find it again one day. Finally got my 17-year-old daughter her childhood dream gift. I, male 33, became a father at just 16 years old. I won't explain the long story, but my parents kicked me out when I became a dad. And when my daughter was a little less than a year, her bio mom passed away. I dropped out of school and worked multiple jobs to support the two of us. Kicking out a 16-year-old with a baby is wild. What kind of parent do something like that? Was that supposed to teach him a lesson? Because the only thing he learned from that, how to be a completely different human being than his parents. But I guess at the end of the day, that's a win for him and the baby. I didn't get financial stability until my daughter was 13. Around that time, I met my now wife. In 2 months, we will be welcoming a baby girl. Of course, you couldn't get financially stabilized for a long time. That's what happens when you have zero help. But still, you did it. You should be very proud of yourself. Getting ready for the baby girl has made me feel so guilty I couldn't give my first baby the type of childhood I can give my second. Besides, financially, I'm also a lot more mature at 33 than I was at 16. It was essentially a baby taking care of a baby. And even though my wife and daughter have a great relationship and it's not my fault her bio mom passed away, I feel bad it was just her and I for so long. The fact that you leveled up later in life doesn't mean that you failed earlier. It just means you survived long enough to grow. You kept her alive when you were only 16 without having your parents' help. Maybe she didn't have a fabulous childhood, but one thing is sure, she was very loved. And if you ask me, at the end of the day, that's the thing that matters the most. I've been talking about this to my wife, of course. She mentioned to me that on social media, she sees people getting the toys they always wanted to heal their inner child. She asked if my oldest had anything she always wanted that I couldn't get during her childhood. An American Girl doll was something my daughter always wanted. She got the magazines and would look online, but I could never afford her one. So I got her an American Girl doll just because I finally can now. I love the fact that you even remembered. It's not about the doll at all. It's about closure. You are very lucky that you have a wife like this. She definitely gave you an excellent advice. Yesterday it came. I wrapped it up nicely and wrote her a letter to go with it. Her birthday was in December, so she was surprised to be randomly getting a wrapped gift. Before she opened it, I explained she didn't have to love it, but I thought it was needed because she's almost an adult and was very understanding growing up when it came to our situation throughout her childhood. Okay, I'm ready. I feel like we are about to cry together. I wasn't expecting it, but when she unwrapped the doll, she started to cry. She was so happy and excited. Gave me the biggest hug. I thought she would appreciate the gift, but I never thought she would react so strongly. All I seen in her pure excitement was my little girl again. It was like seeing her at 7. Had to share a happy moment between my soon-to-be grown-up girl before baby sister comes that healed both our hearts. I'm not crying, you crying. Just reading how happy she was and how he saw his little girl again. Just heartwarming. He definitely raised an amazing girl and he has the chance to raise another now. How lucky she is to have an incredible father. My God, this melted my heart. Good for you, Dad. After your wife, She's a freaking treasure. Someone is definitely cutting onions. Tell me about it. I can smell it too. My 17 male girlfriend, 16 female, won't come over my house anymore and won't tell me the reason why. I, 17 male, have been dating my girlfriend, 16 female, for about a year. Recently, she stopped coming over my house, even though that's where we usually used to hang. Since I have a den where my family basically leaves us alone, as well as a backyard with a pool and a fire pit. Am I the only one who thinks that OP's house is the perfect hangout spot? So something is definitely up here. When we go to her house, she has 4 little sisters who drive us insane. She shares a room with 2 of them, so it's impossible for us to get any alone time. And she lives in an apartment building, so there's no backyard or anything. We'll make plans to come over and she'll either say, "Okay, I see you over here," or we meet up somewhere else and then end up going to her house. I've tried to ask her why she all of a sudden doesn't want to come over and she won't talk about it and gets really weird. I don't care about hanging out at her house or anything. I just want to know the reason why, because I know there is one and she isn't telling me. I've already asked her a few times and she's just avoided answering, so now I'm looking for a different approach. Thanks everyone. I think wanting an explanation is completely fair. Anyone who cares about their partner would want to know why they suddenly change in their behavior. He is definitely looking for clarity and she's avoiding it. But why? I'm curious to figure it out. Let's see the update. Update. I met up with her yesterday and started off by telling her she could tell me anything. I wouldn't get mad and I trust and believe her no matter what it was. I told her I respected that she didn't need to tell me anything, but I was driving myself crazy with speculation about what it could be, so if she could ease my mind, I'd appreciate it. That's actually really mature from a 17-year-old. He is respecting her boundaries, but also asking what is going on, which is exactly the right move. You cannot have a relationship without communicating with each other. We were over our house and she was like, "Okay, wait." And she went to talk to one of her sisters, which I thought was weird. Then she came back and told me that it wasn't that she didn't want to come over my house as much as her sister 11 didn't want her to leave. Her sister has been dealing with some issues, panic attacks, problems sleeping and eating. It probably has to do with her going back to school, starting middle school, etc. Since my girlfriend did most of the raising of her sisters, her parents are awesome, just work a lot. Her sister feels more comfortable if she's with her. Her sister is embarrassed about it, which is why my girlfriend was hesitant to tell me. She figured if we are at her house or around town, I wouldn't notice if her sister tagged along. She felt weird asking to bring her sister to my house because she thought that would be overstepping. Okay, so it wasn't like she didn't want it to hang out in OP's house. She's just the big sister. It makes total sense that she didn't want to embarrass her little sister. But the fact they talked about this gonna help their relationship mature. It's not, and I told her so. Her sister is wild about horses, and my mom has one, so we made plans for the both of them to come over in a bit. Thanks for all of the advice. Love seeing problems get solved like this. Everyone's included, everybody wins. That's why we need to communicate, people. Always communicate. Daily dose of positivity. Oh my god, this is so good. Really needed this dose of innocent love. I love how the girlfriend checked in with her little sister to see if it's okay for her to share the reason why. That's because she cares so much about her little sister. Everybody just so sweet and mature in today's stories. I love it. Found out why my student was always hungry in class. The school counselor did something amazing. I teach 4th grade. One of my students, Maria, was constantly distracted, asking for snacks, falling asleep. I thought maybe behavioral issues or just not paying attention. Turns out her family is going through a rough time financially. She wasn't eating breakfast or packing lunch. Too embarrassed to ask for free lunch program. She was literally hungry all day, every day. That's heartbreaking. Unfortunately, there are so many kids going through the same. It is a good sign that the teacher is noticing that something is not right. That makes the most important difference if there is someone who's willing to step in and asking questions. I found out because I mentioned it to our school counselor during a check-in. The counselor went above and beyond. She quietly enrolled Maria in the free lunch program without making it public, stocked her office with extra breakfast items like granola bars, fruit, juice boxes, and told Maria she could help clean out the extra anytime, connected Maria's family with local food banks and resources, and set up a system where Maria could come by every morning for office helper duty, which was really just giving her breakfast in private. This office counselor deserves a medal. This is the kind of behind-the-scene work that changed lives, and it's so thoughtful that Maria didn't have to feel embarrassed. It makes so much sense. Sometimes parents work too much or don't know how to ask for help, and it's not their fault. That's why what the counselor did was so amazing. They didn't just give Maria snacks, they helped the whole family access resources. This is how real, thoughtful help looks like. Within 2 weeks, Maria was a completely different student, participating, smiling, thriving. I asked the counselor how she did all this so fast. She said, "It's not my first hungry kid, and it won't be the last. We just need to be paying attention." It is such a simple principle, but it changed lives when someone actually notices and acts. I hope Maria and her family is doing better now. I wish them the best from the bottom of my heart. A post that makes you smile and sad all at once. Maria is going to remember this for her entire life. Thank you for being the kind of human we all want each other to be. Thank you both for caring about Maria. I hope you guys enjoyed today's stories. If you did, please subscribe, leave your thoughts in the comments. I reply them all, and see you in the next one.